welcome back to some more Pokemon Moon battles. So I've got a few battles for you today, 3v3 in the battle spot, and my first opponent is 432. So it's a very original name, let's give it to him, guys. So I can see he's got an Infernape, Greninja, and a Groudon. I'm not too sure if that's going to be the primal Groudon. That's definitely the biggest threat on his team, but let's go ahead and get right into it. So I didn't know exactly what he wanted to lead off with. I decided my safest bet is definitely the Milotic. So he actually decides to lead off with his Infernape. I did send out my Milotic, as I said. So that's a great matchup for me, in knowing that he actually decides to switch out, and he's going to send out his Golden Groudon. And Golden Groudon, so initials are GG, which is pretty much what I thought was going to happen to me, seeing that it is the primal form. So I did click for a Scald on the Infernape, but because he did switch in his primal Groudon, the Scald is going to get evaporated by the harsh sunlight. So the only plan of attack now is I need to land a Toxic on this thing. He's actually going to go for his Blades. And even a non-crit actually takes my Milotic down to 11 HP. Luckily I do land the Toxic. This is the only way I'm going to be able to take down this primal Groudon. I need to Toxic stall it. So a bit of leftovers recovery, which is pretty much useless at this point of HP. He's going to take a bit of toxic damage, so I'm pretty much assuming he's going to go for his Blades again. What I decided to do is actually switch into my Aerodactyl. So he does go for the Blade move again. Luckily I am a flying type, and the toxic damage is going to start racking up. And as I said earlier in the battle, the only way I can actually defeat this thing is I need to toxic stall it. So I'm going to take this opportunity to Mega Revolve and go for the Fly. So the Fly is going to pretty much make any move miss for one turn, and in doing that it's actually going to rack up the toxic damage. So he does go for the Stone Edge, he does miss it. Toxic damage is really doing some great damage now. So I'm just going to go for the Fly. And a Tough Core boosted Fly takes him down to about maybe 10% health. And for some reason he decides to go for a Sword Dance here, and that pretty much cost him his primal Groudon. So that's the biggest threat on his team gone, and the rest of his team is the Greninja and the Infernape. So I went for a Rock Slide now. This is my gimmicky flinch set, and I go for a Rock Slide. And what do you know, guys, on the first turn I actually land the flinch. So I'm going to go for a Fly now. And he actually decides to go for a Ice Beam. And this was a very questionable play here. I don't know why he decided to switch in a Infernape to a Flying type move. But in doing so, unfortunately, it does take down his Infernape as well. So we've only got the Greninja left. So here's his Greninja, and I'm pretty much going to finish him off with a very disrespectful, non-effective Fire Fang. And down goes Greninja. So that was the first battle, a rather quick one. I thought I'd upload it anyway because getting battles in Pokemon Moon is very difficult. Alright guys, stay tuned, let's go ahead and get into the second battle. Alright guys, time for the second battle here. So my opponent is from Japan, and he does have some Uber Pokemon, the Xerneas, Greninja, and a Rayquaza. If it's a Mega Rayquaza, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. I don't know what he decides to lead off with, so I decided to lead off with my Xerneas anyway. I thought that was pretty much the safest bet. So let's go ahead and get right into this battle, guys. So he's actually rocking the Team Skull shirt. I do like that shirt. So I send out my Milotic, and he actually decides to lead off with his Xerneas or Xerneas. So my only plan of attack here is to actually go for a Toxic, and he actually reveals he is carrying the Thunderbolt, and even though that's non-stab, it does a decent amount of damage to my Milotic. So luckily I do land the Toxic. And my plan of attack here is to pretty much, as the first battle, to Toxic Stall this Xerneas. So I do get a bit of recovery there. So what I want to do, I'm actually going to click for the recover. Unfortunately, he's actually carrying the Horn Leech as well. So that was a bit of a surprise for me. So it takes my Milotic down to 9 HP. So I'm going to go for the recover anyway, and with the leftovers recovery, that's going to put Milotic well over half now. So now that he's got the Horn Leech, I'm pretty sure that's what he's going to go for now. I'm actually going to switch out into my Arcanine and go for the Intimidate. So after the Intimidate, the Horn Leech does no damage whatsoever. So I'm just going to click Flare Blitz now. I really want to take down this Xerneas as quickly as possible. However, he decides to switch into his Greninja. So I'm going to go for a Flare Blitz. I'm not invested in attack whatsoever, but it still does a good chunk of damage to the Greninja. So I'm not going to switch out. I actually decided to stay in and go for an Extreme Speed. However, he actually switches back into his Xerneas for some reason, maybe expecting my Milotic to come out. So pretty good play on his part, but I just decided to stay in anyway, go for the Extreme Speed. And luckily for me, I do land a critical hit. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep going for the Extreme Speed anyway. So he's pretty much in range for one more Extreme Speed. He actually decides to withdraw now. He's going to send out his Greninja again. So that was a very questionable play. I don't know why he just didn't decide to sack off his Xerneas. But however, I do take the Greninja out with a Arcanine. So here's the shiny Snake Rayquaza, and unfortunately for me, it actually does turn out to be the Mega Rayquaza. So I'm in a lot of trouble now. So at this point, what I wanted to do, I actually just went for a Will-O-Wisp. He just went for the Dragon Ascent. Looking back at it, I probably should have gone for an Extreme Speed just to get some chip damage off on this thing. Anyway, Arcanine's going to go down now. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to send out my Aerodactyl now that he's got a -1 in defense and special defense. And I'm going to go straight for the Rock Slide. So fingers crossed my gimmicky flinch set is going to pull through for me, and I go for the Rock Slide, but I completely forgot about his ability that he weakens flying type moves, but I do get the flinch, so I'm going to go for a Fly now. My gimmicky flinch set is really putting in some work in these 3v3 battles. So I'm going to go for a Fly, and that's going to be way too much for a Mega Rayquaza to take after the -1 defense. So pretty much left with his Xerneas now. And I'm just going to go ahead and finish this thing off with a Fire Fang. And that's the second battle, guys. So if he played a little more smarter, I think he would have been able to take me down. Very unfortunate for him, but stay tuned for the third and final battle of this upload. Alright guys, this is the third and final battle of this upload, and I'm versing yet again more legendaries. So Rayquaza, a Genesect, and Arceus himself, or Arceus, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Don't know what to lead off with, probably my Milotic I would say, but let's go ahead and see how we went anyway in this battle. So Trainer Leonard, he's going to lead off with his Rayquaza. And it's another shiny Rayquaza. So I'd actually decide to lead off with my Arcanine this time. So I do get the Intimidate off, which is very good. So he's just going to Mega Evolve, and I'm dealing with another Mega Rayquaza. So these things are scary as they're absolutely devastating. I'm actually going to go ahead and go for the Will-O-Wisp now anyway after the Intimidate. If I do land the Will-O-Wisp, it's going to really cripple the Mega Rayquaza. He's going to go straight for the Dragon Ascent. I do like the animation of this move very much. And after Intimidate, it does a decent amount, but obviously not enough to really affect me. So I'm going to go for the Will-O-Wisp now. Luckily, I do land it. And Rayquaza is very crippled now. He's pretty much minus 3 attack. So I'm just going to go for an extreme speed here, just to get some more chip damage off on this thing. He decides to go for a Hyper Beam. So Hyper Beam Mega Rayquaza, and I was not expecting that, and that does take out my Arcanine. But it does give me an opportunity to send out my Milotic, because he does need to recharge on the next turn, sorry, my Aerodactyl. So I am going to take advantage of the fact he does need to recharge. I'm going to Mega Evolve and pretty much go for a Rock Slide. And I do land it. And he does get taken out by the burn damage, so down goes the Mega Rayquaza. So he's actually going to send out his Genesect now, not knowing that I do carry the Fire Fang. So his last Pokemon is the Arceus, and it is the Arceus normal. So it's going to be a bit tougher to take down. I'm still going to go for a Rock Slide anyway. So I do get the flinch first turn. I'm going to go ahead and go for another Rock Slide. So he does have Recover, unfortunately. I probably should have seen that. So what I decide to do, because he does have the Recover, I'm actually going to withdraw my Aerodactyl and send out my Milotic and pretty much do what I do with every other legendary Pokemon, Toxic Store this thing. So he's just going to go straight for the Shadow Claw here. And luckily I do actually land the Toxic, so that's very lucky. So at this point there's no point switching now. I'm just going to let him sack off my Milotic so I can get a fresh switching into Aerodactyl. So down goes Milotic, but she done her job. She did get the Toxic off on this thing, and it's starting to rack up very nicely now. So here comes out my Aerodactyl, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and flinch him to death if I can. So there's another flinch, my gimmicky flinch set. And I'm just going to go for a Fire Fang and finish off the God of Pokemon. So there we have it, guys. That was the third and final battle. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it through the entire video, please don't forget to like and sub to my channel, and I'll be uploading more battles shortly. Thank you.